It's time for local high school football. Hometown Sports. Sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Alpha Technology and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Valley Strong Credit Union, and 5-0 Driving School.
And good evening and welcome to our 39th season of Hometown Sports. I'm Greg Kerr alongside a new co-host, Emily Lawson. And if you are watching this, you indeed have found our new start time, Sundays at 6 on Fox 58. It's the only one-hour show highlighting the best of the best in high school football, the most games, the most comprehensive highlights. And before we get started, Emily, share your background with everybody if you don't mind.
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm so excited to be a part of the sports team, but my journey here was anything but a straight line. I grew up loving sports, playing sports, sat on the couch every Sunday with my dad watching football. But in high school, I got bit by the theater bug. I know, a little bit nerdy, but I ended up studying musical theater in college. And after college, I tried to figure out what's next, and I was reminded of my love for sports. So I thought, why not pursue broadcasting? I moved all the way to New York, and I went to Syracuse University to get my grad degree in sports broadcasting. And that brought me here. I've been at the station for a little over a year. I started as the morning reporter. Since March, I stepped into this sports role, and I couldn't be happier, so I'm so excited.
I might make a career change to theater. We'll see.
We'll just make a big switch. I can help you out, you can help me out, and then we can switch into each other.
There we go. Hey, this year's Hometown Sports is brought to you by our loyal sponsors, and major sponsors are Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, 50 years in Kern County, located in the Bakersfield Auto Mall. Valley Strong Credit Union, financial independence starts here. Also open a Valley Strong Youth account today. Little Caesars Pizza, the best pizza value in Bakersfield with 15 locations. 5-0 Driving School. It's owned and operated by first responders, and Alpha Technologies, keeping you protected and connected.
And Greg, we also want to recognize our longtime segment sponsors as well. They are Raymond's Trophies and Awards. It's not just a trophy, it's a memory. Golden Empire Youth Tackle Football and Cheer, competitive excellence. Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality dental care to you and your family.
And oh, by the way, there's more. Accelerated Urgent Care, feel faster, better from anywhere. Stockdale Podiatry Group, we treat your feet. And a new sponsor on board, Greg's Petroleum Service, not me. They will want to fuel your business. So it's week one of the 2025 season. In the next hour, highlights from 15 games. Plus, you'll hear from Bakersfield College head coach Tyler Thompson. And of course, our usual collection of awards. In fact, our Players of the Week, Athlete of the Week, and other weekly winners, game-saving play, exciting play, and more. Take home a Hometown Sports t-shirt. And we have a few new wrinkles, Hometown Focus, and Hey Hometown. We'll explain as the show goes on. So let's get season number 39 underway. And as always, we thank you for joining us. And first, let's talk about these hats here for a moment. We're missing our Frontier and BCHS hats. They just walked off. I don't know where they went. We will get new ones as soon as possible. So how do we decide what goes where? It's not a real deep thing. But this year, if you'll notice the front row, we're going to do a front row thing like this year and this week. Gerald Perucci, all-time winner, leading winner as a coach at Shafter, front row. Del Oro, their first shutout. Kennedy, that wild road win. Wasco, first win for Kyle Wadle. BHS, an impressive win, as did Independence. BCHS would be up there if we had their hat, just can't find it. And Arvin with a win over a D6 Power. In other words, we're just having a little fun with it. And our first stop is going to be, would you believe, Colorado, the Liberty Patriots. Hopping on a plane to take on Mountain Vista High School of Highlands Ranch. The Patriots, the first school to jump on a plane since the BHS Drillers traveled to Hawaii in 1990. And you know you're in Colorado when you have an hour lightning delay. Colorado weather, you know if you know. Anyway, here we go. Patriots taking the field. And this game was all about offense. Marquise Reese at quarterback for the Golden Eagles, thrown to Brooklyn Bailey right there, who's going to fight for every yard he can get. And this drive would end up with a 4th and goal. And the Golden Eagles, Brody Callister going in for the score. There was a lot of scoring. In fact, you're going to see Liberty coming back. Rob Smith Jr. with the nice pass right there in the connection. And then the Patriots get into the end zone. And with that, we're going to have a score fest on our hands. But it's going to be Marquise Reese later in the game with this touchdown run. It was a wild one all the way down until The Golden Eagles scored with 30 seconds to go. They win it by a final of 49-45. Great trip for the Patriots. Rob Smith Jr., by the way, had a heck of a game as you take a look at some of the numbers behind it as he threw for 302 yards, 4 touchdowns. Carter Hansen, a big game, as did Elijah Fudge. And also Brandon Thrasher with over 100 yards receiving.
Defending state champ, Frontier hosting the Oak Ridge Trojans in Week 1. This is a return matchup with the Titans winning at Oak Ridge to open last season on their way to that state title. The Titans standing strong, ready for the first game of the season. But first quarter, Trojans come out firing. Quarterback Nick Johnson hands it off to Jason Womack. Womack launches it downfield to Isaac Pierce. Oak Ridge knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Next play, Tyler Adujar punches it through the gap. Oak Ridge strikes first, 7-0 Trojans. Takes us to the second quarter. Back in the red zone, 3rd and goal. Frontier's defense holding strong, but on 4th down, Oak Ridge goes for it, and they're in. Touchdown, Trojans 14-0. Later in the second quarter, Johnson finds Isaac Pierce deep downfield, and Trojans extend that lead 21-0. A botched snap from the punt by Frontier leads to a safety. Oak Ridge now up 23-0. And at the end of the first half, QB Luke Tabor scrambles. He's got room, headed for the end zone, but it's stopped just short. Oak Ridge settles for 3 and takes a commanding 26-0 lead at the half to the third quarter. Frontier trying to get something going. Quarterback Brady Campbell hands it off to Talon Mather, pushing Frontier further downfield. Now 3rd and 8, Campbell drops back, he goes deep and connects with Kobe Watson. The Titans get on the board now 26-7. But the Trojans immediately respond. 3rd and long, Johnson hits Ben Rivas, who blazes downfield 72 yards to the house. Oak Ridge silences the comeback 33-7. And still in the third, Frontier fighting to get back. Takes a deep shot here, but it's picked off. Evan Hensley with the interception. Trojans defense stands tall as Oak Ridge wins the first game of the season, 47. Next week, Frontier hosts Liberty of Brentwood. Kobe Watson with that touchdown catch for the Titans.
All right, so 40-7. They got a rebound from that one. Meanwhile, losing a game is one thing. Losing your starting quarterback to injury, that's another. Centennial lost Jet Santiago to a season-ending injury last year. Remember that? And in talking to head coach Richard Sterrett, they may have lost him to the same injury, to the same foot. We can only hope for the best. And through it all, just like last season, Santiago played through the injury until late in the game. The Golden Hawks hosting Redwood in this one as they take the field. First quarter, 7-0, Redwood on top, and the Hawks on the move. Michael Iteria right here, busted off a 20-yard run. Stick with what works. Another 20-yard run. So things are working right here. Same drive, second quarter, 3rd and goal, and Jet Santiago goes over, puts the ball over the line, and then there's a scrum a little bit, but they finally call it a touchdown, and we are tied at 7-7. Later second quarter, Rangers to punt, and they avoid disaster here. Brody Priesendorf manages not only to get the punt off, but it rolls all the way to the Centennial 45,
wow.
So got him out of a lot of danger right there. Late second quarter, still 7-7. Hawks inside the Redwood 30. This pass intercepted by Troy Harris. 7-7 at the half. Second half kickoff. And remind you, Jet Santiago is still playing with an injury at this time. This is Zephaniah Cisse. He's going to break one tackle right there into Centennial territory. Get the Rangers some momentum. 3 plays later, Adrian Melgar bounces out of the pile. Looked like they have him wrapped up, but he's not down and he's not stopping. Touchdown, 14-7 Redwood. Moments later, the Rangers defense steps up again. Brody Priesendorf, the interception, and the return to the Centennial 25. So the Rangers inside the 5-yard line. Jimmy Burke goes in, and Redwood grabs a 21-7 lead. And the Rangers defense, once again, showing their stuff. And for the second time, is Brody Priesendorf swooping in there for the interception, the diving catch, his second of the game. One play later, Jordan Areola up top. Zephaniah Cisse, 40 3 yards, and Redwood taking command now at 28-7. And credit that Redwood secondary. They had, count them, 4 interceptions. And the next one right here, coming up by Luke Sanchez. And it's all Redwood as they go on to win at 41-20. The Hawks did get a pair of fourth quarter scores, but Redwood comes into town and claims that 41-20 win. The Hawks will now host Moore Park in week 2. Grant Scott in relief at quarterback, a pair of fourth quarter TD passes. And Michael Iteria once again with 73 yards rushing as Centennial comes up short in their opener, again, 41-20. All right, it's time for our first break. Coming up, we're heading to BHS, Shafter, and much more. Yeah, we're on the road with Kennedy High School. And a quick reminder, follow us on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. Score updates, highlights posted there. You can also catch this full episode of Hometown Sports on YouTube at BakersfieldNow.com. We told you about a new feature called Hey Hometown. If you see one of our photographers in a Hey Hometown t-shirt, all you have to do is say Hey Hometown and then show your school spirit, have something to say. Hometown Sports, we'll be right back.
Hey hometown, you're in Golden Hawks territory! Woo! Hey hometown, it's Beaver time! Hey hometown, go Big Blue!
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Greg Kerr alongside Emily Lawson. And, during our countdown to Hometown, where we visited 26 campuses to preview the 2025 season, Driller head coach Rashawn Sheehy was asked about replacing running back Bryson Abbott. He smiled and said, "We're not worried about that position." And now we know why. The Drillers taking the field, hosting Buchanan in this one. Let's go first quarter, no score. Part of that backfield, R.J. Sheehy. He might know the coach. Dad putting him in and breaking off a nice run right there. Moments later, this pass is ruled a catch and a fumble and a score for Logan McLemore. We're going to show it to you again, 6-0 Buchanan, but you be the judge right here. Don't know if there was possession there, but it was ruled as such, and it did hit the ground. We know that. But it's a touchdown, and the Bears are on top. Second quarter. Demarie Lee, nice gain right there. And then Elijah Cavazos rolls out and finds B.J. Vesey Jr. Touchdown. BHS on top, 7-6. It would stay that way for a while. Later in the second quarter, watch this. The bad snap. The Drillers almost come up with it. The half ends with the Drillers on top in this one, 7-6. Let's go third quarter, and a word about that Driller D. B.J. Vesey, they're holding him right there, and he still makes the tackle. And then you get up and you do that handshake. You got to practice that thing. There's a lot going on there. Demarie Lee, meanwhile, in the backfield for a loss. That Driller D looking good. They were terrific at the start of last season. Drillers' next possession. Get to know Demir Lomax. Big rushing night, picking up chunks of yardage all night long. It would add up to 191 yards. Demarie Lee finishing the drive to make it 28-6. And the Drillers take down Buchanan 28-13.
We're going to make mistakes. Just rally behind each other. The next play, make mistakes. We'll come back to the video and we'll correct them. But just fly around. If you're going to make a mistake, fly around and hit somebody hard.
All right, so again, they win it. They will be on the road next week. That's a Thursday game, by the way, in Los Angeles. We will be there with the Drillers as they take on a very good Garfield team. And some of the numbers, again, Cavazos doing a nice job. Demir Lomax, big night on the ground. He rushed for 191 yards in the game. Demarie Lee, again, adding to the run game. And B.J. Vesey, by the way, with a pick 6 for that 28-13 win.
Shafter ready for their season opener, but missing Boise State-bound running back Marion Sloan, who's been recovering from a hamstring pull he suffered from this summer. Sloan was cleared to play Wednesday, but has taken it slow. Head coach Gerald Perucci says he's excited to play some defense next week and make a full return after their bye in week 3. We'll take you right to the action. Exeter at Shafter, ready to get the season rolling. First quarter action, Shafter on the move. QB Ezekiel Osborne hands it off to Guillermo Verdugo, powering forward. Generals now in striking distance with first and goal. Next snap, Osborne drops back, dumps it off to Verdugo. Again, He rumbles down the sideline. Exeter defense holds the line, stopping him just 2 yards shy of the end zone, but no problem for the Generals. Osborne back to Verdugo, and this time he punches it in. Shafter takes the early 7-0 lead. Late in the first, the Generals stay hot. Osborne scrambles, keeps the play alive, and hits Cash Gutierrez for the first down. Take you to the next play. Cool in the pocket, Osborne. He finds Isaiah De La Moore near the 40, moving the chains again. Now in the red zone, Gutierrez gets the call, breaks one tackle, bites through another, and stretches just short of the goal line. First and goal. You know what's coming next. Gutierrez finishes what he started. Touchdown, but the extra point is no good. 13-0 Shafter. Second quarter, Osborne airing it out, finds Kyle Peter deep downfield. Another big gain. Shafter knocking again, handoff to Verdugo, but Exeter strips this one at the 1. Monarchs recover a huge defensive stand. Exeter trying to flip the script, but Nick Rossetti says, not on my watch, delivers the stop. Back to the Generals. Now 20-0 Shafter in the second quarter. Osborne to Gutierrez, dodging defenders, grinding it out. First down and some. Same drive, Osborne goes deep again, connects with De La Mora. First down, Shafter. And to cap it all off, handoff to Gutierrez. He barrels through, shakes off a tackle, and finds the end zone. Another 7-point Shafter running away with it. 27-0 is the final. But the Generals didn't stop there, finishing the game 41-0. An impressive shutout and one that makes Gerald Perucci the winningest head coach in Shafter history. So the final there, 41-0. In week 2, Shafter makes the trip to Arvin. Ezekiel Osborne with a passing and rushing touchdown. Cash Gutierrez collecting 168 yards and 4 touchdowns. Good night for them.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns. All right, once a Division VI program, Kennedy Thunderbirds have been big game hunting ever since. Now Division III power, they open their season with a pair of road games against Division I powers. Crazy schedule, only if you're the other guys. Let's go to the T-Birds on the road in Hanford for this one. This was a terrific game. And we go to the first possession. 80-yard drive, and Jamison Membreve finishing it. Off to the races, 7-0. Kennedy on top. Next possession, bad snap right here, and the Bullpups are going to fall on it. Makai Rubalcava recovers. So we're in the second quarter now, and the Bullpups cash in on that turnover. Jaron Mayo dumps it off to Rajon Newton, who gets into the end zone. We're tied at 7. T-Birds answer right back, and it's Jamison Membreve again shedding a tackler in the backfield, and he goes all the way for the score. 14-7, Kennedy on top. But the Bullpups next drive, 4th down in the red zone. Anthony Laura with the quarterback sack to stop things. Under a minute to play in the half. Bullpups get the ball back, and they're trying to cash in. This pass forced out of the pocket, intercepted by Isaiah Feathers, and to make matters worse for the Bullpups, he goes all the way for the score. 21-7, Kennedy leading at the half. And to the locker room they go. Let's get third quarter. It's now 21-13. And the Bullpups looking for an equalizer. Jaron Mayo to Tavion Patterson, before he's brought down by a host of defenders. Moments later, Rajon Newton waltzes into the end zone. 2-point conversion failed. It was 21-19. Fourth quarter, Hanford driving. Watch the ball. It's going to be stripped away. And Noah Farrell recovers for the T-Birds. Under 3 minutes to play. Watch this. It's a huge play. High snap. Pressure. The throw deep. And the officials rule that is intentional grounding thrown from the end zone. And that means a safety. Do the math. We are now tied 21-21. Mario Mian stating his case. We're going to overtime, folks. And the Bullpups with the ball first. Jaron Mayo rolls out. Tavion Patterson, watch this catch. That's a beauty. Got down, touchdown, 28-21. Can the T-Birds answer? They can. Jordan Palomo goes in. 28-27. Mario Mian says we're going for 2. And so they do. Who are you going to give it to? The big fella. Well, they got a lot of big fellas. But how about Jace DeMcCoblin? He goes in. And Kennedy rolls into Hanford let the celebration begin as they knock off the Bullpups 29-28. Mario Mian, what about that decision to go for 2?
I didn't have to do it. My players told me. My players told me from the moment when we got the ball on offense, our players came up to me and said, Coach, we're going to go for 2 to score, right? There wasn't even a doubt. So if the team's telling you that's what they want to do and they feel it, we're going to feel it. And then we get to the point where we have our 4-year running back, Jason McCoblin, and I look at him and say, you're a senior, and you're going to win this game for us right now because I got you, Coach. And he did it.
He did it indeed, 29-28. And guess what? Another D1 school coming up. They're going to be on the road at Buchanan. So let's take a look at some of the numbers once again. J.C. McCoblin, a big day, over 100 yards rushing. Jamison Membreve, there's a couple touchdowns. Anthony Lara, a couple sacks. And Isaiah Feathers with the pick 6. All right, meanwhile, coming up on Hometown Sports, a coaching debut in Wasco, another one in East, and yet another coach picks up his first career win. And remember our Hey Hometown feature? We also have Hometown Focus. We're taking pictures. We put you on our show. Like this, the Vikings. Vikings up at West High. Or maybe the Kern High Network in action. You got students hard at work on the sideline. Shafter cheer. A lot to cheer about if you're Shafter. And the pregame anthem at BHS. Hometown Sports. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Ridgeview head coach Nathan Claunch said he learned a lot from his first season as head coach, a season filled with close calls and some not so much. The one common denominator, wins were hard to come by. Year 2, the Pack has a different look and feel. Let's take you out to South High. The Spartans hosting the Wolfpack in this one. Pack, new look. How about new unis? Pretty sweet. Here we go. First possession of the game. E.J. Ellis-Moya up top to Makai White, who makes the catch. And then Ellis-Moya at the controls, fakes the handoff, goes far side. Inside the pylon for the touchdown. 7-0 Ridgeview on top. Later, first quarter, South High to punt. That's Francisco Palma at the other end. Makes the catch. Stays to the outside. Looks to be bottled up right about there. No, he wasn't. All the way for the score, 14-0. Moments later, back in the red zone. 20-0 Ridgeview after the Gunnar Cunningham touchdown. This game was about the Pack defense, though. Number 28, Zach Morin in the backfield. Christopher Nunez at the line of scrimmage, and he's got friends. It was 20-0 at the half. Credit the Spartans defense, though. After that 20-point first quarter, they held the Pack scoreless the rest of the way. Beto DeHara with the interception here. And another one coming up near the goal line by Michael Wilson. They just had to get the offense going. But it was more Wolfpack defense. Zach Morin again. And it was that kind of night. And by the way, good times on the Wolfpack sideline. And yes, a bath for head coach Nathan Claunch, his first career win.
You know, after 0-10 last year, it feels pretty good. You don't really want to get a water bath in week 1, but the kids are pretty excited. So, yeah, it feels good to finally get over that hump and to start rolling.
All right, so there's your victory, 20-0. Ridgeview, by the way, will host Wasco. South will be on the road at Independence. And some numbers once again. Zach Morin just had a terrific game defensively, as did Nunez. The Wolfpack defense allowing just 2 first downs. Emily?
Speaking of Wasco, first-year head coach Kyle Wadle looking to make his mark at home. Wasco Tigers are fired up and ready to host the visiting Porterville Panthers under the Friday night lights. First quarter, early action. Porterville quarterback Ethan Enriquez drops back and sends a deep strike to James Monrado. Just like that, first and goal for the Panthers. And they waste no time cashing in. Enriquez tosses a quick lateral to Aris Acoba, who hits the Jets and takes it all the way to the house. Panthers strike first, 7-0 Porterville. Second quarter, Wasco trying to answer back. Javen Hernandez hands it off to Jamil Lopez, who powers up the middle, bulldozing through 1, 2, almost 3 tackles before being brought down at the 15. Now Hernandez says, I'll do it myself. He keeps it, turns the corner on the left side and runs it in for the touchdown. But the Tigers miss the extra point. 7-6 Porterville still leads. Later in the second, Hernandez drops back again. This time fires deep and finds Simone Grandos streaking downfield. He's finally pushed out at the 10-yard line. Wasco goes for it on 4th and goal, but the Panthers' defense holds strong to preserve their lead heading into halftime. Porterville up 6-7 at the half. Second half kickoff, Porterville receives and brings it out with momentum. 10, 20, 30, even past the 40. But wait, the ball is loose. Wasco recovers the fumble near midfield. But despite the special teams break, Porterville's defense steps up again, shutting down the drive and holding on to that 1-point lead. Crunch time now, and the Panthers are looking to pad their lead. But Joel Nunez has other plans. He steps in front and picks it off, and he sees daylight pick 6 for the Tigers. Wasco takes the lead. They're not done yet. They go for it on 2 and convert it. Wasco up 14-7, and that would be the final score. Post-game, first-year head coach Kyle Wadle has this to say about starting his season with a statement win.
I haven't felt this nervous since I played, but to me, coaching's overrated. We call the plays, they execute. I'm so happy for them getting this first one. They've worked their butts off for me. Long summers, getting yelled at, and they deserve this hard, tough win.
Again, Wasco wins this one 14-7. In week 2, Wasco heads to Ridgeview. Jami Lopez with 18 carries on the night for 78 yards. Javen Hernandez, 10 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Joel Nunez collecting 6 tackles and tops it off with an interception.
Well, there's nothing like a rivalry game to open the season for East High head coach Nick Romero, making his debut as head coach. And his roots were actually at Highland. The game goes even deeper. The Scots and Blades, always entertaining. Let's get out there as the Blades take the field in this one. And a good look at head coach Nick Romero right there. First quarter, no score. Scott's first pass of the game is going to be picked off and taken all the way back for the touchdown. 7-0 East on top. The ensuing kickoff. This is Randy Davenport Jr. And he's going the distance, but it's going to be called back. And so, moments later, David Farrow to Randy Davenport Jr., and this time it's going to count. Add the 2-point conversion. Highland's on top 8-7. Second quarter, East rolling out of the pocket. Someone's lost in coverage. Touchdown 13-8, Blades on top. And the Scots go to their ground game. Anthony Phillips. Nice run there. And David Farrow, the fake, and he keeps in for the score, 14-13. And just before the half, Julian Jackson, the far sideline. Big run right there. And that's going to set up Randy Davenport Jr., who's going to take it in for the touchdown. 22-13 at the half. That's the future kicker. They didn't kick an extra point all night. That's their future right there. Third quarter, Scots finding success on the ground. Aiden Vargas. And then Anthony Phillips goes in. So despite the pick 6 interception at the start of the game by Mason Manabat, this turned into be Highland's game. They go on to win it by a final of 43-19. Highland will host Stockdale. East will be hosting Cabrillo. 330 yards rushing for Highland. Anthony Phillips, a big night, as did R.J. Davenport. And that's Scott's defense forcing 5 turnovers. All right, time for another break. Coming up, we're heading to Tehachapi, Stockdale, and West. But first, it's time to get on TV. Just find our photographer and shout, "Hey, hometown."
Hey, hometown, this is the E-Plus. Let's go! Hey, hometown, the 2025 season is here.
Hey, hometown, you're in Golden Hawks territory. Yeah!
Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Tehachapi Warriors, the only true champion the Young Mountain League has ever known. 3 years, 3 titles. They will be tested this season for one reason. Only one returning starter is back on offense. But the good news is their quarterback, Colton Michael. Warriors hosting Burroughs in this one. In pregame, why stretch? Just hit somebody, right? Here we go. First quarter, no score. Warriors defense. Jackson Robinson, Harley Aranda getting into the backfield. Meanwhile, Colton Michael getting to work, going to Thaddeus Dyer, who cuts across the grain. Picks up some nice yards. Just couldn't get into the end zone in the first half. Deep ball right here. Samaj Matthews with a nice play for the Burroughs. Warriors couldn't crack the code in the first half. Watch the left part of your screen. Ball will be on the ground. Javarion Prothro with the recovery. And we are still scoreless, and it stayed that way until halftime. Must have been a nice pep talk in the locker room, because here's the first play of the third quarter. Warriors with the ball. And watch Colton Michael. A dart to Thaddeus Dyer, who outraces everyone to the end zone, and the Warriors on the board just like that, 7-0. But then the Burroughs answered right back. Matthew Hillowart to Samaj Matthews, who gets behind the secondary. Not going to catch him. We are tied at 7-7. The Warriors, however, march down the field. Colton Michael to Thaddeus Dyer. Dangerous combination. And then it's Tyler Lombardi from short range getting in. 14-7, Warriors on top. And this, bit of a backbreaker for the Burroughs, the ensuing kickoff. They pooch it. Austin Tripodi recovers. And then Colton Michael goes to, guess who? Thaddeus Dyer. Nice connection there. And then Michael again, this time to Tyler Lombardi in the flat. And he is going to bull his way into the end zone to make it 21-7. The Burroughs defense did make it interesting on this play. Ball is loose. We got a scoop and score by Javarion Prothro, but the Warriors hang on to win 21-13. Chris Krempian wants to clean up that slow start.
The first half was far from what we wanted. We had 3 big drives that ended in 0 points, and right down on the goal line before halftime to walk away with no points there was kind of heartbreaking. So great job of them rallying at halftime, calming down, realizing there was a whole half of football and a lot of growth in the season. So proud of the guys figuring it out. We just got to be better.
All right, so next week they're at BCHS. Let's show you some of the numbers. Colton Michael had a big game throwing the ball. Thaddeus Dyer receiving it, and Tyler Lombardi on the ground and getting into the end zone.
North taking the trip to Stockdale for game 1 of the season. Both teams looking to make their presence known early this season. Friday night lights shine bright as Stockdale hosts North for the season opener. North strikes first. Quarterback Bradley Dockery keeps it himself, finds the lane, and takes it in for 6. The Stars go for it on 2 and convert. North jumps to an 8-0 early lead. Stockdale looking to respond, but it's picked. Covery Osteen jumps the route, and he's taken this one back. Pick 6, just like that. North goes up 15-0. North looking for more, but Stockdale's defense tightens up. Big stop to swing the momentum. Second quarter, Stockdale's Devontae Oates under pressure, stays cool, launches one deep to Nicholas Tajita. Tajita shakes it off defenders, makes his way to the end zone. Mustangs finally on the board. Next drive, Oates is feeling it. Another deep ball, this time to Daniel Vasquez. Touchdown, Stockdale. They missed the extra point, but close that gap 15-13. Fourth quarter, North driving again. Dockery keeps it, breaks a tackle, looks for the stiff arm, but goes down just short of the goal line. But North will not be denied. Dockery hands it off to Isaac Lopez. He takes it straight up the middle to the house. The Stars now up 22-13, and he's not done yet. Dockery tucks it one more time. His third touchdown of the night. North pulling away 29-13. The Stars steal the deal with one more score and walk away with a statement. 35-13 win. Second-year head coach Adam Levinson says the team's motto was put into action.
I was really proud of the way our boys came out here. They played their butts off tonight, man. They left it all on the field. I really felt like our preparation, our off-season work prepared them for this game tonight. It was back and forth. Stockdale, they played their butts off too, and they fought and they gave us a tough game, but in the end, we finished strong, and that's our motto this season, so they did a great job.
Again, North got the better of Stockdale. 35-13 was the final. In week 2, Stockdale heads to Highland, North Bradley Dockery, collecting 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 passing. Mike Lencioni, ended the night with 2 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. Caden Hanner, 2 interceptions. And in total, the Stars defense collected 4 picks. Stockdale's Devontae Oates with 2 touchdown passes, throwing for 94 yards. Nick Tejada with a 24-yard touchdown catch. Garrett Colburn with 2 forced fumbles on the night. And Mr. Mitchell ended the night with 9 tackles.
All right, heading to West. Congratulations and apologies going out all at once. We do our best to stay as long as we can at every game, never leaving a close game until, breaking news happens and our photographer was pulled away. We'd rather be transparent about that and keep doing our best. Derek Dunham's Vikings hosting Kern Valley. Let's take you out there to Dallas Kreider Field at West High. And Jackson Price starting things off for the visiting Bronx. Rolling out, and he's going to find Ty Humphers right here. Nice yardage down the far sideline. Actually, that was a play early. That was a pass to Aiden Madden. This is Humphers right here. In for the touchdown. 6-0 Kern Valley on top. Second quarter, Carson Parks, who had a big game running the ball, just finding his way deep into West territory. And then it's going to be Parks again. And the Bronx are up 12-0 at this point. Now trailing 12-0, a huge play here. Solomon Davis on the fake punt. And that seemed to shift momentum in a hurry. In fact, Davis with the long run. And a few words for the band over there. He goes in from short range to make it 12-7. So some momentum for the offense and the defense, feeling it. So you're going to see Terry Overstreet get into the backfield. The quarterback sack. Vikings get the ball back, and Solomon Davis is going to go to work, or Harris is going to go to work again. To Deontay Butler, 14-12. This one goes back and forth. West goes on to win at 35-31. They score 21 in the fourth quarter to pull out the win. They will be hosting Delano next week, and a big night once again for Solomon Harris. Time for another break. Coming up, we're double dipping in the town of Delano, plus a visit to Arvin. And remember, our hometown focus, we're taking pictures, and you'll be right there along with us. Remember, Instagram, YouTube TV as well at BakersfieldNow.com. We will be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Mira Monte Lions are hardly one-man team, but when Nathan Gonzalez is carrying the ball, they're different. Gonzalez showing his stuff in the first half, would have to sit out the second half with a minor hamstring injury. Let's take you to Delano. Lions and Tigers, no Bears, just Lions and Tigers. And Nathan Gonzalez running hard. Like that. Just keeps on churning away. And Gonzalez again. And just like that, it's 7-0. Miramonte on top. The Tigers, well, they have their own hard-running running back, Daniel Romero. Check out the first, second, and third effort here. Breaking tackles, and we are tied at 7-7. Second quarter, quarterback DJ Huizar to Raul Quezada. It's 13-10. Now second quarter later, Lions pull off perfectly executed reverse. Angel Zarata goes in. It's 17-13, Miramonte at the half. So let's go third quarter. DJ Huizar in the midst of a really good game. To Hugo Rivas. It is 19-17, Delano on top. But the Lions march down the field. Gabriel Severa, screen pass to Corday Fulmer. Gets some nice yardage, and then that face mask. So some extra yards there. And the very next play, Corday Fulmer goes in easily. It's 24-19, Miramonte on top. Fourth quarter, Delano retakes the lead. DJ Huizar to Diego Carrillo. Nice pitch and catch there. 25-24. Lions next possession. Big play here. They put the ball on the ground. Hugo Rivas recovers. And then Huizar goes to Daniel Romero. This is a fourth down play. In for the score, 32-24. And the Tigers defense with the exclamation point. Angel Lopez, the blindside hit. Jose Garcia, the scoop and score. And Delano goes on to win this one by a final of 39-24. Delano goes on to win. They'll be on the road at West High. So the numbers, Huizar going for 4 touchdown passes in the win.
Chavez hosting Del Oro, both with older teams than past years, hoping their respective teams' maturity will shine even under the bright lights. It's youth night at Chavez High as the Titans and Del Oro Suns get ready to clash under the Friday night lights. Early in the first quarter, Chavez looking to strike deep, but Del Oro's Keenan Starling skies up and shuts it down with a textbook interception. Defense setting the tone early. Del Oro trying to answer back, but Chavez's D stands tall, locking up the deep threat, forcing the turnover on downs. Chavez back on offense. Faris Badad hands it off to Michael Dominguez, but Moises Partido blows it up in the backfield. That's a 6-yard loss and a statement tackle, but the Suns aren't done. Starling drops back, launches one 50 yards downfield, and finds Victor Campos in stride. Big-time connection, but once again, the Chavez defense answers the call. Juan breaks up the would-be touchdown and keeps the scoreboard frozen. Delano lines up for the field goal. Wait, it's a fake. It's a scramble looking for the receiver in the end zone. This one is incomplete, but a flag flies in. Pass interference. New life for the Suns. Next play, ball goes up. Tipped. Jacob Castellanos is there, picks it off, and ends the threat once again. This game shaping up to be a defensive clinic. We head into the half. Still nothing. Game still scoreless. Third quarter. Chavez trying to get something going, but it's Ivan Jamie with the interception here. He takes it the other way, setting up the Suns in prime territory. Later that drive, Starling to Campos again. This time he sheds a tackle, outruns 3 defenders, and takes this one all the way. Touchdown Delano. The Suns finally break through 7-0, and that would be the difference. 1 touchdown in a hard-fought defensive battle. Delano's grit and unity shining through. Delano collecting the 7-0 win in week 1. Now we look ahead to week 2. Delano at Taft and Chavez at Porterville. Now I told you it was a defensively strong game, but what if I told you it was historic, as it marks Delano's defense's first shutout school victory.
There you
that
go.
was a lot for me to say.
Arvin High head coach Robert Riley figured the best way to measure yourself, play a Division VI power team. Well, they did. They played the defending champions from Lindsay. Let's get you out there. Take you to Arvin. And the Bears leading this one actually 17-6. And the Cardinals, however, showing their stripes. They're on the move. Ethan Cortez with a nice run right here. About the 25-yard line. And Jose Fernandez doing the rest. The quick pitch. Uses his blockers and his power in for the score, 17-13. Andrew Rosales, meanwhile, going to the air, and this guy is well covered, but he isn't, and that's the touchdown to Damian Cornejo, 24-13. Defense, Keith Leone in the backfield, makes the sack, or the tackle for loss. Bears middle screen sniffed out by Brian Robinson. So both offenses sputtering a bit, and the Cardinals would actually give it right back. They would put the ball on the ground. Alexander Parra is going to fall on it. That's when Andrew Rosales goes to work, as he is going to get the ball into the hands of his favorite target. That's Xavier Brooks. Makes the catch. Then we have a little extracurricular activity here, as the Cardinals are going to be flagged. Alejandro Osorio down the sideline. The Bears trying to get some cushion on that scoreboard. And that's when Andrew Rosales is going to go in for a touchdown, and they go on to win this one by a final of 31-13. Rosales, a big game. Arvin will host Shafter. That's a Thursday game. Rosales, Cornejo, and Xavier Brooks, the keys to victory. All right, meanwhile, other scores. BCHS winning on the road. You've got Garces falling to Paraclete, 38-25. Big win, and what a game for Ricky Johnson. Elsewhere, Foothill at Morro Bay. Foothill coming up short by a field goal. You've got Mendota taking down Golden Valley 25-21. McFarland, the Fighting Norm Browns, win 35-30. And Emmanuel's looking tough. They beat Taft 56-6. We will be right back. When we come back, BC football. See you in a moment. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. You know, if you're looking for BC football coverage, we've been to every single home and away game since 1987. And we're back for more of the games under first-year coach Tyler Thompson. And Thompson, formerly the defensive coordinator, had this to say about the difference of being a head coach.
Office and watching film, and not having to worry about anything but the defense. But it's good. It's good because now, it opens up your mind a little bit and puts a little more attention to the entire team, both offense, defense, and special teams. And it's fun to kind of get around and get to know more of the kids, which I wasn't normally used to.
And we'll be on the road this Saturday at Santa Ana. Time for Players of the Week, sponsored by Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality dental care to you and your family. Each winner takes home a Hometown Sports t-shirt and our dental Group Offensive Player of the Week. That would be Delano quarterback DJ Huizar. Tigers quarterback on the money all night long, connecting on 15 to 26 passes, 263 yards, coming up big in the red zone with 4 TD passes. DJ Huizar of Delano our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week. Our Defensive Player of the Week, number 28, Zach Moore of Ridgeview High School. He's in the South backfield all night long. He had 5 tackles for loss, leading a Wolfpack defense that limited South to just 2 first downs. Zach Moore of Ridgeview, our Defensive Player of the Week. Our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week, another member of the Ridgeview Wolfpack, Francisco Palma. He beat everyone to the punch with the first punt return for a touchdown in 2025. He did have a head start. He played on Thursday night. Francisco Palma of Ridgeview is our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Time for our game-saving play. Not all game-saving plays are created equal. This was a big one. This week's game, Wasco hosting Porterville. They're down by 1. Joel Nunez, the interception here, takes it all the way back for the game-winning touchdown, and that's good for a Hometown Sports t-shirt. My man, Joel Nunez of Wasco with our game-saving Play of the Week.
Now to this week's Athlete of the Week, sponsored by a new sponsor, Greg's Petroleum. They want to fuel your business. This week's Athlete of the Week is BHS running back Demir Lomax. All Demir did was carry the ball 19 times for 191 yards. I mean, come on, that's 10 yards a carry. He also caught 2 passes out in the backfield. The Drillers are deep at running back again this season. Demir Lomax of BHS, a Hometown Sports t-shirt is coming your way, and he is Greg's Petroleum's Athlete of the Week.
Meanwhile, our youth football segment brought to you by Golden Empire Youth Tackle Football and Cheer. They are all about competitive excellence. Each week, we'll have a youth football game, and come playoff time, the championship games. Golden Empire recently holding a preseason carnival at Del Oro High School from freshman to varsity level with players and cheerleaders. Coaches are trained. Safety comes first, and Ron White and his entire staff, including the many team reps, do a wonderful job. This season begins next week, and we will be out there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Now for our exciting Play of the Week, brought to you by Stockdale Podiatry Group. They treat your feet. This week's exciting play, we take you back to Delano. Angel Lopez with a blindside hit, and we are going extra large on your t-shirt for Jose Garcia. Jose Garcia of Delano with our Stockdale Podiatry exciting Play of the Week.
All right, time for our Hits of the Week, brought to you by a longtime sponsor, Raymond's Trophies and Awards. It's more than a trophy, it's a memory. Let the hits begin. Shafter hosting Exeter, and don't run at number 33, Nick Rossetti. Oh, my goodness. I tell you, it's Nick the Brick in the middle of that Generals defense. That's Nick Rossetti of Shafter. Liberty playing in Colorado. Golden Eagles pass over the middle. Max Boland going Mad Max with that one. The stick over the middle. Despite the combined 94 points in the game, a lot of good defensive plays. That's Max Boland of Liberty. This week's winner, one of the winners, I should say, Tehachapi running up against the grain can be dangerous. Javarion Prothrow of Burroughs making the hit. The Warriors won the game, but Prothrow leaving a mark right there. Mira Monte at Delano. Nathan Gonzalez, he actually has the ball, and he's going to dish out the pain right there. Putting a defender on the ground. Nate the Great delivering the pain for Mira Monte. But this week's winner, Stockdale hosting North. Garnett Colburn, the stick in the middle. It's like playing in a phone booth, and he just put him down, man-to-man, head-to-head, nowhere to go. Garnett Colburn of Stockdale is our Raymond's Trophies and Award Hitman of the Week. Now time for our Scholar of the Week, brought to you by Accelerated Urgent Care. This week's Scholar of the Week comes from East High. He's Levi Delgado, GPA of 4.45, wants to major in sports medicine, wants to go to school at BYU. His favorite TV show, he says, doesn't watch a lot of TV. Favorite food, Dad's Tacos. Favorite music, country music. And one thing most people don't know about Levi Delgado, he plays the piano. Levi of East High, Levi Delgado of East High is our Accelerated Urgent Care Scholar of the Week. We'll take a break. Predictions are coming at you next. Time now for our predictions, brought to you by absolutely no one, but we are happy to bring them to you anyway. Let's get to it. BHS Garfield, that's going to be on the road. BHS, we're both going with BHS in that one. Shafter Arvin, we're going to see Marion Sloan for the first time.
Yes, we will, back from his hamstring injury.
All right, that's bad news for Arvin, by the way. Those are the 2 Thursday games. Kennedy, Buchanan. Kennedy looked good, but Buchanan, that's tough.
Straight Division I game.
That's going to be a tough one. Moore Park Centennial, and bad news for Centennial, of course. No Jet Santiago, probably. That's what it looks like. BCHS, I think, Tehachapi, with that first win, look good, but
they're a very young team.
That's a young team Tehachapi has. Elsewhere, Wasco, Ridgeview, we're splitting on that one. That should be a good game. We're both going with, that should be Clovis West against Liberty, and we're both going with Liberty to win that one. That's Clovis West. There's another Liberty. That's Liberty at Brentwood. We both like Frontier to bounce back after their first loss. Atascadero against, there's that Clovis word. It's supposed to be just north. the Clovis West, the Clovis ended up there. So anyway, it's the first week, people. South against Independence. We're going to split on that one. I like Independence in a big way. Stockdale against Highland. Stockdale, Emily's going with Stockdale. I'll go Highland. We're both going with West over Delano, two teams that both picked up wins. You saw Del Oro, but you're going Taft in this one.
I know. Maybe I changed my decision after their defensive game this weekend.
All right, Del Oro with the win, but Taft trying to bounce back and get a victory as well. Cal City against Foothill. Foothill's home opener. We're both going with the Trojans. Pick up the victory. East trying to bounce back after their loss to the rival Highland. Emmanuel against Kern Valley. That Emmanuel team really took it to Taft. 56-6, but I like Kern Valley's run game.
Yep,
we'll just see if
they
can.
They do have their hands full.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. A couple other games to note. Norm Brown's McFarland team back on the road against Tranquility. They'll try to make it 2-0. Porterville against Chavez. Porterville coming up short against Wasco, trying to get a win, as is Garces trying to get a win against Paso Robles. And then we get on the road with Golden Valley for the second week in a row against Sierra Pacific. And then finally, BC at Santa Ana. Our first look at Tyler Thompson's team and maybe the Renegades. They were looking good
at the scrimmage, so
we'll
see how it goes.
They looked really good at the scrimmage. We'll see what they can do against Santa Ana. For Emily, I'm Greg. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 on Fox 58. Have a good night.
Hometown Sports was sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Alpha Technology and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Valley Strong Credit Union, and 50 Driving School.